Hey guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a unhaul. I have about 30 or so books that I plan on getting rid of. In my last video, I did a read it or unhaul it. I was specifically focusing on 6 book of the month books that I was trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to get rid of them. 3 of them I am going to be getting rid of, so I'm going to talk about those. A majority of these books I have either read or I attempted to read, and for some reason I DNF'd them, and then I have a few that I had purchased like a while ago and I just have no interest to pick them up. So the reason why I've decided to go ahead and unhaul a lot of these is because in the next couple of weeks I am going to be heading home. Home for me is Indiana, and in Indiana they have half-price books. I love half-price books. That is literally where I have received most of my books from because I refuse to pay full price for a book. Since I've been in North Carolina, I haven't really found any used bookstores that I really like. I have tried several of them, but none of them are like half-price books. So I am going to pack all these books up. I'm going to be driving home, so I'm going to take them with me and I'm going to sell them back to half-price books and then buy some more. I have not been buying a lot of books lately because I know for sure I am going to be purchasing some books when I go back home. So I am going to go ahead and start with the books that I have not read yet, and then we'll talk about all the ones that I have read, and unfortunately, like I said, I will be unhauling these. So the first 3 books are the 3 books that I mentioned in my Read It or Unhaul It video. So we have Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is more of a adult fiction. I just wasn't vibing with this. The first chapter did not captivate me enough to want to continue. This is more of a adult fiction. I have tried a young adult book by this author that I did not like, and I ended up giving that away. So I thought maybe if I picked up a adult book by this author, I would probably enjoy it more, and that unfortunately was not the case. Then I have Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. I think this is more on the fantasy side or like magical realism. I honestly have no idea why I decided to pick this up. I think what happened was when I picked this from Book of the Month, it was like one of their months where they didn't have a lot of good picks to begin with. And so this was like the best of the worst. And so I thought maybe I could try to get into this, but after reading that first chapter, it is a hard no. And then the last book that came from that Read It or Unhaul It video that I plan on getting rid of, this is Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. This is another, I think, either adult fantasy or it's fiction with a little magical realism. Again, the first chapter just did not grab me. And I'm kind of sad about this because I was personally recommended this book and I didn't like it. I didn't like that first chapter, so we're getting rid of it. So then we have American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I want to say at the time I purchased this, I know on the front it says soon to be a Starz original series. The series was already out. I want to say it was probably almost completed, and I thought I wanted to watch that series, and so I wanted to go back and read the source material and then watch the series, but my interest for that has disappeared since I bought this book. And then I think Neil Gaiman has something's going on with him, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Now this next one, I have debated for so long whether or not I wanted to read it. And every year it's one of those books that I say I'm going to read and then I just never pick it up. It is Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. This is a adult fantasy. Seanan McGuire is the same one that wrote the Wayward Children series, which I absolutely love. But for whatever reason, I don't think I'm gonna like this one. And so the longer it sits on my shelf, the longer I'm just like, I don't think I'm ever gonna pick it up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and unhaul it. Next up, we have Devil is Fine by John Vercher. I actually received this from the publisher. I don't remember like requesting it or anything like that. It just kind of like showed up, and it just does not seem like something I would like. It seems like it's more of a adult fiction, and it's about a father-son writer and a biracial American fighting to reconcile the past. I'm sorry, but that just does not sound like anything that I want to read. I have not heard anything about this book, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Next up, you can't even see this, but the next one we have is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And this is another one that I have had on my shelf for a long time. It is a adult fantasy. I think it has something to do, with clairvoyance. Like, the premise of it sounds good, but anytime I've seen a review for this book, it has not been positive. And so that's why I've just been putting it off. Now, she has come out with some gorgeous covers for this series, but unfortunately, I just don't think this is going to be a series for me. So the last book that I'm going to be getting rid of that I have not read yet, this is Dead Letters by Kate Dolan Leach. Now, I do remember picking this up from Half Price Books like years ago, and this is a adult thriller. All I know, it's about these sisters or twins, and one of them goes missing, and so the other one is trying to find her. At the time I picked this up, I was looking for books that I haven't seen like a lot of people talk about, just because I wanted to kind of get away from the really, really popular books. But then I randomly went and checked Goodreads, and this just does not have the best rating. It's like a 3 point something, but some of the reviews that I skimmed they weren't that positive, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this one as well. So all of the other books that I'm unhauling, I actually have either read them or attempted to read them. So we are gonna start off with And They Lived Happily Ever After by Therese Bahari. This is a adult romance with a little bit of magical realism. I tried to listen to this on audio. I did not get that far. The audio narration was terrible. It like literally turned me off of the book altogether. Now, could I have tried to read this physically? Of course. But at this point, I've had this book on my shelf for such a long time that I no longer have any interest for it. Next up, we have Dead Girls Walking by Sammy Ellis. This is a young adult horror. If you guys remember last October, November-ish, I was reading YA horror books by Black authors. This was one of those books in that video. This unfortunately was a book that I DNF'd. Now, I do recall myself saying that I was keeping this around because I think at that time I was feeling like I wasn't really in the mood for this story, but it's been a few months. I have not thought about this book. I have not attempted to pick it up. I have not even made plans to read it later, so we are going to get rid of it. So then next we have The Most Wonderful Time by Jane Allen. This is a holiday romance. I read this year. I listened to it on audio, and I was not a fan. I'm pretty sure I gave this like 2 stars. Number one, I wasn't really a fan of the characters. I did not feel like this gave me holiday romance. This just felt like a story that was set during December and I did not get all of the holiday feels that I want to get when I'm reading a holiday story. And yeah, I just did not care for like the romance in here. I didn't like anything about it, so we're gonna get rid of it. Next up, we have Rebel by Marie Lu. I have had this book on my shelf forever, and every time I look at this series, I'm always like, I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm finally gonna get rid of it. So this is the 4th book in the Legend series by Marie Lu, a young adult like dystopian. I really enjoyed that trilogy. After the trilogy was completed, then she wrote this like a few years later. This is a story that we absolutely did not need. I don't know if like fans of the series was saying that they wanted something else, but this is not the something else that I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. Next up, we have Gleanings by Neil Shusterman. So this is part of the Scythe series, which I really love. Now, I really love that first book. As the series has gone on, I tended to enjoy them a little bit less and less, but this I really did not like. So this is a short story collection. It features stories with some characters from that original series, as well as some new characters. I didn't like a majority of these stories. A lot of them are long. It took a long time to get to the point. And then the stories that did include characters from that series, they weren't characters that I wanted a story from. Like, there were other characters that I really enjoyed that I would have wanted to see an extra story or two from. And this, to me, just did not deliver. Just like Rebel, I feel like I kept it around just because it was part of that series, but I don't need this. So we're gonna get rid of it. These next two books are by the same author. So we have Everything the Darkness Eats and You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. This one, I don't even really remember what this one was about. All I know, it was a book within a book. There was like the book part of this I actually liked, but then the other part of the story, I couldn't tell you what was going on. I was so confused. Then this one, there was a part in this book that just ruined the entire book for me. It was like a scene in here, because these are like adult horror, but there is a scene in this one particular that really was disturbing, and it takes a lot for me to be disturbed with anything. So the fact that it bothered me, it just didn't sit well with me. And so I did not like this one. Again, I didn't like this one, and I don't really plan on picking up anything else from this author. They wrote one book that I can't even remember what it's called that I actually enjoyed, which is the reason why I'm trying these two books. I lied, there's another book. There's two books by this author that I enjoyed, which made me want to pick up these, but these were a hard no for me. Then we have No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a adult mystery, and this was so disappointing because the year before this one came out, I read What Lies in the Woods. That was my first book by the author. It's another adult mystery, and I really enjoyed that one. This one, however, was so boring. It was dull. I'm pretty sure I gave this one 2 stars. It just didn't do anything for me. It's not very memorable. There's no reason for me to keep this around. Next up, we have The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. This is I guess we can call it a romance. You can probably categorize it as fiction as well. This was fine at the time that I read it. It was okay. It deals with like a lot of grief. This woman is trying to get over the death of her husband and rebuild her life with her and her son. And then she, finds love again in an unexpected place. I think some people can really probably relate to this. I unfortunately did not relate to this, but it was fine while I read it. Not something that I've thought about since I read it, so I'm not gonna keep it. Another one that I have not thought about since I read it is The Most Likely Club by Alyssa Friedland. This is a adult fiction, contemporary fiction. It's just following a group of friends who were friends in high school, and now they're trying to like live up to their superlatives that they got when they were in high school. So like the most likely, so like that list, the most likely to succeed, the most likely to do whatever. They're trying to live up to that. It was fine. Again, not a very memorable story. I can't even really give you that much information because I don't remember. So we're getting rid of it. So the next one that I'm kind of sad that I have to get rid of, it is The Women Can Fly by Megan Giddings. I did not enjoy this. I'm not even sure what to classify this book as, but it's a daughter that is dealing with her missing mother. There's like a lot of social commentary, and I only know it's a lot of social commentary because it says so in the dust jacket, but a lot of that went over my head. I was so bored while I was reading this. I did not understand half of what was going on. I did not like the writing. I read another book from this author, Lakewood, that I actually enjoyed. It wasn't like a new favorite or anything, but because I enjoyed that one, I thought this was going to be one that I really enjoyed, but it's not. So this next one that I'm going to be getting rid of, I had a feeling, like this feeling deep in my gut that I wasn't going to like it, and I end up DNFing this. This is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I think this is more of like a historical fantasy. Now, when I was reading this, I wouldn't have known what time period this book takes place in if they didn't tell us. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like way back in the day. And it deals with magic. That's all that I got for you. This was definitely not the best place to start with Leigh Bardugo, because from the reviews that I've seen, a lot of people who have liked Leigh Bardugo's other books did not seem to like this one, and that should have been a clue to me to not pick this up, but I wanted to give it a try. I think I gave it a fair shot. I got a few chapters in before I decided to put it down, but this was not for me. Another one that I DNF'd and plan to get rid of, we have The Whisper Man by Alex North. This was on my backlist TBR for the year. I have had this on my shelf for a long time. This is a adult mystery thriller horror, and I just could not get into this. So a guy was in jail for murdering people, and he would whisper through their windows, I guess, before he killed them. And then the same thing is happening like years later when he is supposedly in jail, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, I couldn't get into it. I tried to listen to the audiobook, that wasn't working, so I didn't. So next I will be getting rid of Little Rot by Akwaeke Emezi. This is a adult fiction. I gave this 1 star. To this day, even though I recently read this, but to this day, I cannot tell you what this book is about. We're following this couple who have recently broke up. They went their separate ways, but they ended up at like 2 different parties, and the story takes off from there. But it's like a lot of sexual trauma that I don't even have any words. If this is a book that you want to read, I would definitely check out the trigger warnings. And if this is a book that you read and you actually liked it, I would love to know what was it that you enjoyed about it, because I'm pretty sure there is like a message somewhere in here that went over my head and I just did not get, but we're getting rid of this one. Another one that I will be parting with is Bad Tourist by Caro Carver. This is a adult mystery. I gave this one 2 stars. This to me was just a little slow and a little boring at times. We're following these women who go on a vacation, but one of them is hiding secrets, and then you find out another one's hiding secrets, so on and so forth. And yeah, I think the ending was really good and like fast paced, but I don't think the build up to the ending was worth it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. These last 3 books that I will be getting rid of, I also DNF. So we have Like Mother, Like Daughter by Kimberly McCreight. A lot of people really tended to enjoy this. This is an adult mystery. I just could not get into it. All I remember from this story is the main character. She ends up, I think, going back home from college to visit her mom, but when she gets to the house, all she finds is like a bloody shoe and she can't find her mom. But this main character is so annoying. That's all that I remember, and I just could not force myself to continue. Another one is Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. I actually got a good chunk of the way through this one. This is an adult mystery, and I was just bored, honestly. I even looked up spoilers to see what was gonna happen at the end because I just could not force myself to finish it. But this girl is going back home because there's a drought. And there was a car that was found that they believe belongs to her mother, who abandoned the family like years before. I was not interested, and I was actually kind of annoyed while I was reading this because at the beginning of every chapter, it's telling you how many days this town has went without rain. But like nobody ever mentioned the drought besides like the one time in the beginning when they found the car. Like they could have probably found the car without the drought, but I think I was just annoyed. I was annoyed that nobody was bringing up this drought, but yet we're being told about it. I don't know. I didn't like it. And then a recent DNF, which I have not talked about on my channel, that will be coming up in my next recent reads, but it's Wake Up and Opened Your Eyes. I was really looking forward to this one. This is a adult dystopian horror fiction, and part 1 really caught my attention. Part 2 started to drag. The pacing slowed down. It started to be really repetitive. This has a lot of social commentary, which normally I enjoy in stories, but I don't like when it's really heavy-handed with you. I tend to prefer books that have a lot of social commentary to be a little bit more subtle, make you think, make you as the reader try to put the pieces together instead of you putting the pieces together for me. So a lot of people have liked this. A lot of people have not. I think it's going to be like a hit or miss with people. I did not like it, so I'm DNFing it and I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. So those are all the books that I will be unhauling. I'm sad to let some of these go, but there is no reason to keep these on my shelves when I can make room for new books. So that is all that I have for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.